want to jump over to the construction for a second because so that continued. So while this is going on though, that is continuing on. You're getting a lot of work and that side of the business is continuing to do well then. Um, it did. I just want to actually ask your perspective because you're in Vancouver, you have pubs, construction. It's sort of a prime candidate to ask this question about just the housing market here. Is that has it ever slowed down or do you sort of see this? Has it ever taken a dip since you started it, or has it just continued to grow the demand just for your business in the construction?
It's continued to grow. It's there's a big shortage of skilled trades here, and even when we applied for our permit to come here initially, Laura has a degree in business and HR, and I'm a carpenter by trade, but she came on my back. She didn't have enough points to get a visa herself, but because let's say it's a point system and 100 being the best, 1 to 100, 100 being the best, and you needed, I'm not sure how many points it was, but let's say it was 65 or 70 points to get in. And I think carpenters were on top of the list.
A
like
lot of people,
95
a lot of native-born Canadians don't even realize that Canada is a point system because there was a big uproar in the media in the US once. They were talking about doing a point system, and Canadians were upset about it. In the US, I went, we are on a point system. That's what we do.
But it's very good because it protects.
It is very good. Yeah,
protects,
we get great people there.
yeah, it protects a lot of the jobs here, which is very important too. But skilled trades were on the top of the list, and thankfully, we were both able to come on the back of that. And it was a pretty quick process to get the visa. We came here. It took a small bit longer than I expected to get a job, but that's because I was sending out resumes. We call them CVs in Ireland, and I was sending out these CVs, and I was probably calling them CVs, and people didn't know what they were, and maybe they were going into their junk mail. But after a few weeks here, talking to the locals, they were giving us advice and tips, and even with some local immigration companies, and that they kind of steered us in the right direction. We polished ourselves up a bit and our CVs, our resumes, and we sent them out, and we were having a small bit of joy then. But what worked for me was I got a bit of advice one day to get a hard hat, get a high vis vest, get on your work clothes, put on your steel toe cap boots, and walk into job sites. Just walk in, ask for the manager. I'm looking for a job. Once they see you, you'll be fine. So I did that. I put on my PPE one morning about 6 a.m. I walked down Granville Street. I went into 1067 Granville. I'll never forget it. And it's actually straight across the street from Donnelan's Irish pub.
Wow.
And I went in there and I'd done an interview. And a very funny story. I'll give it short, but the gentleman there, his name was Trevor, and he's a great guy, and I'm still friends with him today. And he was the project manager there for Jacob Brothers Construction. And he was asking me all these questions, and he said, are you a dog fucker? And I said, yeah, I am, yeah. Because I thought that was like, that meant that you work hard, but like I'm fresh off the boat. And anyway, he starts laughing at me and he hired me. So he told me later, and we always joked about that. But I worked with them for about a year. They were a great company, and it's another funny story. I guess I got my my T4 in the mail after being about a year with them. I was going back to Ireland for Christmas, for the holidays, and they were a bit slower in the winter time around the holidays. So they said, oh yeah, no problem, go back for whatever you want, 2 weeks, 3 weeks. I go back and have a great time. I come back to Vancouver and I go to my apartment down the West End and I see my T4, but I didn't know what a T4 was. So I thought it was like basically, you're finished with Jacob Brothers, and here is your tax form, like you're terminated. So I was shocked. Showed it to Laura. I said, geez, think that maybe there's no projects coming up, or I don't know what's going on. So my truck that I had with Jacob Brothers was back at the yard. I didn't really bother going back there. I started looking at some jobs. I got a job out in UBC on a concrete project, and I was there about a week. when Trevor called me up and he said, when are you going back to work? You're going to stay over there in Ireland or what's going on? And I said,
This is the
I'm
best
back.
story ever on this show.
I said, I'm back. I have a job, you know, I got let go. And he's like, what? You got let go? I said, yeah. He said, no way. They didn't let you go. So I said, yeah, I got my T4 in the mail. And he's like, you idiot. Everybody gets them at the end of the year. That doesn't mean, you know, in Ireland we call it a P45. So he said, that doesn't mean you got terminated. You know, that's for your tax return. You have to do it every year here. So I was like, oh my
Now
God.
you are, because you've been gone.
Yeah. So I said, well, I'm with this company. The owner's really nice. They're under pressure. I can't leave. I'm running a crew. You know, if it doesn't work out, I'll go back to you, I promise. So it did work out, and I stayed with that company, and then I set up IRL after that. But if that hadn't happened, and I'm a big believer in everything that happens for a reason, I've no doubt that I'd still be working with Jacob Brothers today, because they were a great company. Yeah.
Right. That's just amazing.
Yeah.
That's amazing.